Hello, everyone. This is Franz Sidney speaking to you. Welcome to Create with Franz. We have today Renata Gomide, how do you call the surname? Gomide with us. Welcome, our expert hypnotherapist, RTT therapist, coach. What is it you don't do? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Franz, for having me again. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's good because today, guys, we're going to talk about something that's going to help you to get the dating experience that you want and maybe a partner for life, but one that you want. And we're going to start very slowly, have part 1, part 2, maybe part 3, 4. It's going to be useful and juicy because Renata, she has a lot of experiences, but she also worked for a dating site years ago. So she has a lot of stuff to share with you that's going to be juicy and interesting for those of you who are serious about finding a committed relationship in their life. And so my first question for you is, because we are mind architects, we work with a mind. So I just wanted to know, why is it better to be in a relationship? Why people seek for a relationship, in your experience?
I believe it is, well, a fundamental need, right? To connect with someone. We are coming into this earth to be with someone, you know. It is from biological part and also emotional part as well. And of course, some people, some percentage of people would choose solitude, which is absolutely fine, if that's what they're looking for. But the majority of us want to have a couple, want to have a significant other that will provide, or let's say will meet emotional needs, or will help us meet our emotional needs as we help them to meet theirs, you know. So that's, I think, the glue of every relationship, how well two individuals are meeting each other's needs in that relationship.
Yeah, so we all look for something. Now, when I was younger, we used to go down to the main high street, as you call it here in England. And what would you do? Just go out and start walking around with your best friend. I was in Italy there, so I was walking up and down, maybe from 5 to 7 p.m., maybe 8. We just walk. We didn't have money, so we couldn't go to the bar and buy anything, you know, an ice cream. Nobody had money because we were too young and nobody had mobile phones. So you would say, I'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock in that place, and you will meet up there. And then you will see the other guys and the girls and start doing things. And then you will go to events, maybe with your parents. You went to a dance and you would meet people there. And maybe there was never a case of exchanging for numbers. It was like, I'll see you in that place at that time, and you would keep it.
Yeah, you see,
really...
people used to be more committed from the beginning.
Yeah, they had to show up. And if he didn't show up, you just knew this person wasn't any good. So, you know, you would see the person, see what they look like, their clothes, see if they smell nicely, because everyone has their own pheromones. It's all different, isn't it? Their clothes, their style. In Italy, you would look for the style and then see how they act with other people. And then you would ask your friend, and they will tell you, oh, that one, that's Johnny, his mom, the mom is a lawyer, but dad is quite bad. He's an alcoholic. He's got 2 stepsisters who are really bad, or he's great at cooking. They would know everything about him. So before you even get to talk to the guy, you would know all the gossip about the guy. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Moving to 2020 onwards, we have social media, internet, mobile phones, and dating has become a meat market. It's become dangerous, and there have been scams. People have been scammed for millions. And it is a really treacherous place where to be. So how to navigate this? Well, we're going to talk about this for quite a few episodes probably. But first of all, I think we have to be emotionally healthy and ready, Because if we're not emotionally ready for another person, we're going to look for a savior or somebody to rescue us, somebody to fix us. And that's really not what dating is about. We should be fulfilled and happy as we are. And dating is the cherry on the tree. But as we go out, we have to face the fact that after finishing college, university, or maybe working in a busy environment, our statistical probability of meeting somebody that will match us become smaller and smaller as we become older. So it is different to date when you're 15, 20, 25, and then 30 plus. And there is a big difference. And this is very much explained when you go to the website, match.com, or I don't know the names, Tinder is famous, right? And you see there is a huge amount of people in there. How do you sift through? So as a person who is a mental health professional and a young woman, married, and you've been there, you have a multiple faceted perspective. So what can you share about your work with this dating agency that you learned?
Yeah, the funny thing is that I did work for a dating agency, dating website, the biggest probably group, Match.com. But personally, I've never been on a dating website myself. I never had created a profile in any of them. So it's very interesting just to observe from, experiences of other people. And what I noticed as well, like what you were saying, this is how it used to be, and we can quickly just in chunks go through history, how people used to meet. So most of the time, like a long time ago, these were arranged marriages, right? It's something that you already knew that person. It was in your community, in your village, like you said, people already knew what was the situation of the family and things like that. And kind of these matches were happening. As people started moving out of smaller communities and into bigger cities, obviously, things changed. This was meeting people used to meet in workplaces, in leisure activities, whether it's like sports, games, cafes, cinema, like public transport, anything, And as we move through the digitalization of our age, I even remember when I was studying that was back in Lithuania, I was studying my psychology, social work, and it was one of my tutors, it was a sexology professor who actually was one of the entrepreneurs back in the day, because he had that like a catalog of people. So it was like a paper thing back in the day, it's like a that you would post it in magazines or newspapers, and they used to have these columns, people meeting people and this kind of things. And obviously that progresses into the digital age. So let's say first dating websites, they started appearing mid 90s, 95. This is where Match Group started. And the apps, the phone apps obviously came with the technology of the phone. So let's say 10, 12 years ago started all the apps, and they are differently designed than websites in a way. So we can talk a little bit more about that. But what I started noticing when I worked for this dating company is like what's behind the the technology. How is that technology going to make sure that the person stays on the dating website for as long as possible, especially those that are paid services, right? So a lot of people who are a little bit more into, back to the goal, why you are going on that dating website. Do you want just to hook up? Do you want to just meet people? Fine, perfect for that. But if you're looking for a committed relationship, it's very, very rare that you're going to find it on a dating website. And there are many aspects why it happens. So obviously the free ones, forget about it. You're not going to find your husband or your wife on a free dating website like Tinder. Okay, maybe it's going to happen 1 in a million. Congratulations to you. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. You're getting addicted to the technology of swiping right and left. You are demoralizing yourself. And yeah, I mean, this is, I will tell you a little bit more how it is designed to engulf you into kind of a game and shopping experience. like a almost gambling and shopping experience merged together. This is how a technology behind the sites is created. You are there for a long time, and usually, these are men that are paying for these services. Very few women go to pay for a dating website. Like most of people who are paying for it are men, and unfortunately they are the ones who are losing the most time, the money, and they're not getting results from being on those websites.
How is that possible? Why men are wasting more time? You would have thought, but probably 51% women in the world, and men have so much choice and whatever. Now you're saying they're wasting time?
Yeah, they absolutely do. Majority of men are. Because these profiles would not even being shown to women. So the proportion of men and women on a website, a lot of people think, well, 50-50. Not at all. Depending on each website, it's probably going to vary. However, let's say Match, Bumble is another thing. It's like we can talk about that funny thing where they went, the woman will make the first step, and this is a woman's choice. It's always a woman's choice. Ultimately, it's always the woman's choice. It's a woman that will reject or accept the man that is reaching out. The woman doesn't need to reach out herself. Men will reach out to her. This is how it works on dating websites. And what I'm saying about this, so there is a percentage, let's say 70% of men on that website, 30% of women, give and take. So those women on the website will have certain filters or certain setups to filter the crowd, right? And what women normally do, okay, so I want a man with a specific height. Okay, usually whatever, 6 foot, every woman wants a tall man. I mean, okay, that's already like half, huge portion out of your reach. Okay, then the website will be pushing the profiles into most visible ones are the ones who are being paid, the ones that are using certain clicks there, buying boosts and things like that. There are lots of different options that you can pay extra to expose your profile for a day or two, or like an evening or something like that. So these profiles will be, the more you pay, the more they will be shown.
Premium.
But again, those, yeah. And a lot of people literally on that subscription without even noticing that the subscription is still running, because a lot of people believe, oh, okay, I found someone, I'm just going to delete this app off my phone. But you didn't cancel your subscription, you didn't cancel your profile, you didn't do anything. So it's running in the background, and people are like, okay, and a lot of times it's like, oh, suddenly your partner finds out and is like, are you still on that website? Because some friend of mine saw your profile, is like, it's still active. And the person maybe already forgotten about it, but it's a lot of things that goes on there. But in the end of the day, it is, so only the profiles that are, let's say, top men, good looking, great education, all the beautiful professionally taken photos and things like that, people who invest in those profiles, they will be shown. So let's say 70% of men on the website, 10% of those profiles will be shown. The rest is somewhere in the shadows. Nobody is looking at them. They're not getting likes. They're not getting matches. They're just paying on the hope that, oh, maybe tomorrow something is gonna come up, or maybe it's one more swipe here and there, and this is a reality that people don't understand. There's plenty of information about it online, and if you just look And if you just find out what's really going on in those websites, you may want to reconsider being there and spending your time, wasting your money on something that is not going to happen for you there. And talking about that, just recently, a few weeks ago, funnily on the Valentine's Day, there was a lawsuit that was filed, I believe, in California, against Match Group and against, can't remember now who owns Bumble, but against Bumble, I believe as well. It's like 6 people are suing these companies on charges that they are using manipulative techniques to make their users addicted to the site, and they are failing to provide the results that they are advertising. So, for example, Hinge is one of these websites that their slogan is like, it's an app to be deleted, you know? So it's like, we're going to find you someone, match you with someone super fast, and you can just delete that app, and your relationship will continue into the beautiful sunset forever and ever. That also is a huge lie. And I'm happy that people are actually suing these companies now, because I think it's about time to like disclose what's really going on and how they're not working for majority of people who are on those sites.
So we touched quite a lot of interesting things. You told me in the past that the very reason for these sites to exist is actually to mine your data and share it. So how does that work?
Sell it.
So I
Not
like,
share it, sell it.
So, every
Yeah.
time I go to my supermarket, if I use a loyalty card, my data will be kept and people will know. So what happens then? Does it mean that when I am on a website, for example, match.com, I put my profile, or I like this, and that, that's my age, that's the type of things that I buy, then that stuff is going to be kept and shared with marketing companies, for example?
Yes. So obviously, the way I see websites, dating websites, and all this, it is a business, obviously, right? The For me, it's very similar to the business of, let's say, pharmaceutical companies, right? So you need people to be sick just enough to use their products, right? And dating companies are no different. They need people to be lonely. They need people to be anxious about relationships and about their, if you're not. So it's all the, how to attract people onto them, but keep them there as well. So if you are on these websites where they are free, you don't have to pay anything to join, like Tinder, I don't know, many others as well. Where do you think they're getting their money from as a company that is there to make money? So that's the question. Advertising, okay. How much can you get out of that advertising? Sure. But now, where is all that sensitive data going? Your exchanges, what you are talking on that app, you are texting, you are sexting, you are doing whatever. People, throwing their photos here and there, maybe from the waist down. Where is all that going? So that's interesting.
Data.
Who wants to buy that kind of data? Because these companies are going to sell this data so quickly to the highest bidder that will take that data and gonna use it. Well, now I don't know, with all the inputs that they can give to AI, and let's see where is that going. We're already seeing a lot of scams coming up online through AI, so it's not even like the usual scams that we see. It's way sophisticated. They can use voice, surely this year they will be using face videos, and you can have those video calls like you couldn't have before with the scammers, because the voice doesn't match the picture. Now this will be possible, and it's much more dangerous for people who are not aware of these kind of technological advances that are going on like so fast.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, just wonder
It's a
where
business.
are all that communication and all those pictures and all those emotions that you let out on these websites, where they are going, who's buying that?
Yeah, thank you. Quite an exhaustive thing, a topic that could be a worry for some, because they might start sharing sensitive information
Absolutely.
that they don't wish to be, spreading, but actually we don't know who we're talking to. And people, we don't understand a website. What is a website? There is a server, there's a host, and this data is passing through these cables and wireless stuff, is passing from my computer to their computer. So my data, my typed words, my emoji,
Everything.
my photographs, everything is passing to another server. Once it's on the other server, we have lost control of the data. We have signed a contract saying, I give you the right to, and nobody reads
Do
pages and
anything.
pages of agreements. We just don't read them, because small writing, 20 pages, and as a
Yeah.
non-lawyer, you would read them and not really grasp the meaning of what we're saying and what we're not saying. So you are saying, yes, you can use your data for whatever purposes, and then the data will be gone. And that's quite a worry for a lot of people. So I expect a person to approach a dating site with fear, mighty fear. And we do have, 5 minutes left for our half an hour episode, 7 minutes. So let's go down now to a little bit more of this. How many people on a website, in your experience, are actually not who we think they are, if compared to what they're writing in the profile?
So that would be categorized, let's say, if they are really not who they say they are scammers, and there are lots of them on the site. And for example, Match.com, and I believe every other site, have a team assigned to monitor these fake profiles, and it's like a daily business of like deleting them, like going through the IP addresses, making sure that they cannot create from the same email, IP address, whatever. So there is like a safety wall that is installed, but they are so fast, so quick. And some of them are very, very sophisticated, that the scam will take up to 6 to 8 months from the beginning to completion when the money is actually sent. And so it's a long business. But when we talk about authenticity and how many people are authentically setting up their profiles on a dating site, I mean, it's such a minority. It's very, very few people who are honest on their website, on their profile. And these are the people who are most likely to get a match and actually have a committed relationship come out of that. Because those people who are just there to, play around, use the dating website as their as another social media, just for clicks, for their own, ego boost or something like that. There are plenty of that, people playing around. I mean, yeah, it just depends on your goals. Like, what you are looking to get out of that, If you just want to play around, go for it. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. If you're looking for something long-term commitment, it's going to be hard. It's difficult. If you're not honest, if you are not honest and with a very straight, direct communication.
Yeah. So honesty and transparency, these are the two things that are very often missing. And in the second part of this episode, that will come in a week after this, we really want to talk about honesty and transparency in dating websites, because we are in a world where now we meet people digitally before we meet them in person. And I think it's the utmost importance that we make an effort to come through as the authentic self, who we are, not who we think we
Absolutely.
are, not who we want the world to see us as, but who we actually are. And usually who we are comes through with what we do. And in a website, it's very hard to tell what we're doing. We only see our high principles, but because of human nature, we might have a high principle of peace and yet be contentious at home. We might have a high principle of cleanliness, but our house is a mess. So it's all good, you know, if I interview people on the street, they will all say they like beauty, order, art. They all say they love music, they relax with the same things. But then when you go down to the small details, we're all very different. And in the profile, we tend to present the best so we can attract. And years and years and years ago, just for fun, me and my friend, I was 20, 23, 24, so we're already playing. We got in the newspaper the single heart column, and there were no photographs. They were like single man, 24, good looking, looks for a woman.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, let's respond and see what they say, sort of thing. And then we come together to the thing, and I went with a motorbike with this young lady. It was so funny. And this guy had put an advert, Lonely Heart, that was in the north of Italy, and he put bellissimo architetto, which means I'm an architect and I'm extremely good looking. Extremely good looking. So imagine, wow. And then he was saying all effervescent and all this amazing character. I thought, that must be a fun one. Let's go and meet him. So I set up his appointment. I said, I'll see you at the rail station in Paderno. This day, Miss Summer, come with a friend, you know, just for security. And the friend stayed there because we were like, safety first.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this advert, tall, good looking, bellissimo, which means like the top of the top model type. And then this little guy comes out, nothing wrong with very short, but he didn't say that. And then bellissimo, I was like, it's not even average. It's just less than, it was just almost bald, and it was like 20, in the 20s. And so we had a chat, and there was no spark at all, and he was not an interesting person. I was interested because I was actually studied architecture. I was in my second year, and I thought it would be quite fun to meet somebody who is also doing the same course of study in the Polytechnic. But yeah, he turned out to be not a person that really wanted to get to know more. And then in the end, I said to him, but listen, by your advert, you said this, and then I said bellissimo. I mean, I don't want to offend, but bellissimo. And he said, oh, I just wrote that to attract the attention. It really stuck with me.
Yeah.
That
It
people
is, and it's something that
nice.
you think, of course, and this is one of the things that I think was very evident. Like, we always want to show that part of you that is the best, like you said, you know. And on the apps and websites, you literally have a split second to get someone's attention. So that first photo, or whatever you write, like depending on the, you know, how the thing is set up, will be a point of attraction. That's what I'm saying about merging of shopping and gambling, that kind of way of operating these sites. So it gets you really addicted into it, and suddenly, you know, some people even forget their goals. Why am I here? You know, like, they're not using these technologies mindfully, and they're not getting the results that they say that they want.
And as a result, we become unable to form a proper relationship. And then when we compare these amazing photos filtered of these beautiful people there with an amazing career, with the normal people think, well, no, these are nothing. And we might be missing something.
Oh, you most likely are missing something.
Yeah. So let's close this one. Let's close this episode here because of a half an hour thing. And then we'll We'll talk later in the next episode. We're going to talk about the profile of a scammer, a man scammer, a woman scammer, and who knows, there could be a third type of scammer.
Yeah, a digital scammer.
And they're all there to get you and to get you, your money, and maybe put you in danger with toxic and abusive behavior. So thank you so much, Renata, for being with us for this
Thank you,
first
Franz, for
part.
having me.
I learned a lot, and I'm so glad I'm not in the position now of being scammed by anyone. And yeah, you guys be very, very careful. And if you like this episode, please click and share, like, and subscribe to have more information, because dating can create an amazing relationship, can help you to find a person that will be with you in the good and the bad, or can put you into a situation where you're actually suffering and giving financially, physically, mentally, emotionally to a person that is not deserving of any of your attention. And we don't want you to do that, and we want you to be safe. So I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everyone, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.